Welcome to the Divorce View talk show. Hi, it's Joanie Winberg, certified human behavior consultant and known as the communication guru and founder of the National Association of Divorce for Women and Children, as well as GettingAlongSolutions.com. I enjoy every week doing this show together with my co-host, Rosalind and Sedacca. Hello, Roz.
Hi, Joanie. Always great to see you every week. I'm Rosalind Sedacca. I'm recognized as the voice of child-centered divorce. I'm a divorce and parenting coach and founder of the Child-Centered Divorce Network for Parents. And we have a wonderful guest tonight who's going to be talking to us about an important topic. Regardless of what stage of divorce you're in, you're going to be thinking about moving on ahead and looking for better relationship options in your future. So we're going to talk about how we can get started with dating and exploring that avenue, and the opportunities as well as the pitfalls we want to avoid. So, Joanie, why don't you introduce our guest?
Oh, absolutely. And the topic we're going to talk about are the best three hot dating tips. So I'm excited to have our guest come on and tell us all about this. And hello, Amy. Amy Sherman is our guest, and I'm thrilled you're here. Hello, Amy.
Thank you, Joanie. It's a pleasure to be here.
And give us some background about what you do and what gets you into talking about dating, especially for single again people.
Okay, I am the co-founder of 99 Things Women Wish They Knew Before Dating After 40, 50, and yes, 60. And I am also the founder of the Baby Boomers Network. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I've done a lot of work with couples and relationships. So I know the pitfalls, the traps, the difficulties that people have when they're trying to move on after divorce or even during divorce.
Mm-hmm. And so name is not coming up on the screen today. So we just want to remind people, again, this is Amy Sherman, licensed mental health counselor, and we'll be sharing her website with you shortly.
Absolutely. So why don't we jump into these the best three hot dating tips. And Amy, get us started. What's the first one?
Well, the first one is to make small attitude changes for dating success. Because you're divorced or in the process of a divorce, you may have the outlook or the attitude that all men or all women are losers, nobody is good out there, you may be jaded from your experience. So because of that, it's very important to go into the dating scene with a very positive, optimistic, forward-thinking attitude. In other words, you want to go in thinking that you're going to have fun, you're going to enjoy yourself, and you're going to meet somebody that's really perfect for you. If you don't go in with that attitude, you're going to get exactly what you're fearful of, and that is meeting somebody who's not going to be right for you.
So that's really important, because I hear that all the time. Roz, you probably do too, where men and women say, well, why bother? There's nobody good out there. They're all losers. So that's really setting the mindset, and that's really what we're attracting. Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, what you put out there is what you're going to get. So if you expect somebody to be a great catch, and if you think of yourself as a great catch, you're going to find somebody who's going to complement that. If you go out there thinking nobody is good, everyone is a loser, that kind of attitude is going to bring you just what you're most fearful of.
Could that mean that's what you really think about yourself?
Absolutely, yeah, and that touches on the second topic. But first, before we even move on, it's important to keep a positive, open mind to what it is you're looking for, and also to keep yourself alert to some of the obstacles and the challenges that you may face as you are moving on.
Could we go a little bit deeper here for a minute, and because women or men might be thinking, okay, what do I need to do for myself so that I feel better inside about myself? So what might be some things that people can do to like themselves better, to feel more confident?
one thing you need to do before you really move on with dating is get rid of the baggage from your past. You know that you may be angry, you may be resentful, you may have some doubts about yourself. You have all these emotions that you're experiencing because of the divorce, because of your experience with your last partner. And unless you free yourself of that, you're going to bring that baggage into your new relationship, and that's a disaster. So you really have to either go to a therapist, go to a counselor, work on yourself, self-help books, whatever you need to do to work through some of those emotions that you're feeling so that you don't allow yourself to bring the past into the present.
Amy, are there any differences between someone who's looking for a healthy relationship who hasn't been divorced versus those who have been divorced and come out of a serious relationship and the emotional trauma of divorce? Is there a different mindset and special challenges that divorced people have?
Well, yeah, divorced people, obviously, you've been in a long-term relationship, maybe longer than if you were just seeing somebody for, a period of time. You have a lot of history, and there is a lot of anger and fear sometimes if you had an abusive kind of relationship. You may have a lot of resentments, a lot of guilt. If there are children involved, you know that also comes to bear as to how you're going to manage your new relationship. So there are a lot of challenges that divorced people will experience that people who are not divorced may not experience.
I even think it boils down to hanging around with positive people, eating well, sleeping well, just starting to like yourself more and more, because I know divorce can really make us feel sad or guilty, or what's the word I'm looking for, where you don't care, you don't like yourself, you lost your confidence.
Depressed and frustrated.
Right. So I mean, to me, I remember just trying to read everything or get my hands on anything I could read that was positive to help my mindset, and listen to CDs when I was in the car so that I could hear this reinforcement of the mindset, because I really knew I needed to shift because of what I went through. So I mean, that's what people really need to start to do, right?
Yeah, you definitely have to shift. You need to start empowering yourself and feel good about yourself. And how you do that is by telling yourself that you are a great catch. You are, worthy of meeting somebody who loves you for who you are. You need to, focus on the fact that you're not damaged goods, as some people may.
Oh, that hurts.
Well, people have that, because they've been divorced and married and it wasn't successful. They do sometimes feel that, unfortunately, and that's a terrible way to feel. So yeah, working on your self-esteem and working on, boosting yourself. If you have a good support system, whether it's, friends, your parents, relatives, whoever, just people who will support you and tell you that you are, more than enough, and that you do deserve to have the love and the life that you so desire.
So you need positive expectations.
Absolutely. And I say avoid the naysayers. It's like, some friends you might have to drop. And to me, when you have that confidence, you feel good in yourself, that is hot. So what's number 2 there, Amy?
Number 2 is to know what you want and know what you don't want. This is very important because when you're divorced, you probably know you do not want to meet somebody who is like your first partner. However, you really need to be specific as to what you do want, and do you know what you want? Because obviously, you thought your partner was the perfect person, otherwise you wouldn't have married him or her. So it takes a matter of really writing down, who am I looking for? Who do I, what are the essential qualities and characteristics that I need in a new partner that's going to make me happy? And know exactly what you don't want. It's basically moving out of your comfort zone. You were with your partner for a certain period of time and you got comfortable in that kind of relationship until you made the decision to, divorce. Now you have to step out of your comfort zone. Maybe you need to try looking for somebody else who's a little out of your norm. Maybe you need to, just go to places that you're not that, familiar with, because after all, you've been married. You don't have to go to bars anymore. But maybe try online dating and things that you wouldn't feel most comfortable with. So it's important to step out of your comfort zone, step out of the box, so to speak. Try something new, take some safe risks, so that you do feel, you could. You're ready. You're ready to meet somebody who could be the person of your dreams, and you do deserve that, by the way.
Otherwise, you stagnate. Otherwise, you end up doing the same thing you're used to doing, and you end up with the same kind of results or the same kind of partner with a different face. And you certainly don't want that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think it would be helpful, like, if you wrote down, like, different relationships and then wrote down what you liked about those relationships and then what you didn't like about the relationships, and you might start to see some themes or common themes?
Well, that's very helpful, because the more insight you have, the better you'll be able to make some decisions as to who and who not to date. I tell women that they have to trust their intuition. They have to go with what feels good. They know what their partner was like and what they didn't like about their partner. If they meet somebody else, they're dating somebody else who has similar qualities or characteristics, and you feel it, don't discount that. You have to trust your gut. You have to go with, what you know is right. Think of going down a dark alley and knowing it's not safe to do that. You feel that inside. It's that same feeling, it's the same message you get when you're with somebody who kind of triggers a button that doesn't feel right for you. And then make the decision, well, I'm not going to continue this relationship. It just doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm. I would say listen to that red flag. Would you say that? Or listen to the red flags and be aware.
Absolutely, yeah. The red flags. We know what we don't want. Those are the red flags. But we can't discount it. I've had so many clients tell me that, they knew from the beginning that their relationship was not a good one, and they still continued with it. We do that all the time. So now that you've had the experience already of a divorce, and you know that you really better heed what you're feeling inside, hopefully, you'll learn the lesson and move on from there.
And what about talking about taking responsibility for the part you played in the divorce so that you can make shifts as well? Because we're talking about what we like and don't like in the other partners, and if we put all our energy into blaming our ex for the failure of the relationship, are there some ways we may be deceiving ourselves and not looking at the fact that we may have been controlling ourselves or had low self-esteem or were manipulative or whatever it was that also played a part in the failure of the marriage?
Yeah, that's a great point, Roz. We do need to take responsibility for our part. And again, it takes insight. It takes an awareness of who you are and how you are, your way of being and what you say and how you say it. So there is a lot of work that you need to do before you even start dating, to get clear on that so that you don't become the person you were in your first marriage and make those same mistakes again. I'd like to, when you're thinking about who you are looking for and the qualities and characteristics that you are looking for, it's good to rate yourself with those same qualities. Do you have the same, if you're looking, honesty, sincerity, caring, empathy, whatever it is you're looking for, do you have those same qualities and characteristics? So that way you can have a good inventory of who you are and what you're at, where you're at, so that your partner is going to get a quality person as well as you getting a quality person.
I get, the other point that both kind of piggyback off of what you're both saying, I think it's also important to really listen to your heart of what you like. Now, I am an avid gardener. I didn't date a lot of people who were gardeners, and like one day I woke up and I thought, what is this? I mean, why would I not do that? Because a person that's a gardener as well has the same love for the earth and things growing and the beauty. And I didn't go that way. And so, what you're saying is so true. You think, are we truly listening to our heart of what we love and be aware of what we love and then be willing to say, next?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point. That's why, if you're going to meet somebody or you're looking for somebody to meet, you should go to places and do things that you enjoy doing. So go to your garden club, because then you're going to definitely meet somebody who's into gardening. Or go to the wine tasting if you're into wine. Go to the Orchid Society, whatever it is, any kind of group, hiking groups, your religious affiliation. You're going to meet people with like interests, and that's so important. That's half the battle. Meeting somebody who has the same interests as you, likes doing what you're doing, and then you have all that to share. Now, of course, there are other things that are involved in a relationship, but that is half of it. It means that you're sharing, a commonality.
And we talked a little bit about this off air. As I don't know if it's a woman thing or not, but if it's something we love, we tend to put that aside and go more or less what that other person likes and do what they like versus doing what we like as well. Is that a common thing you see?
Yeah, and that's the third tip that I wanted to talk about. It's very important to stay empowered in your relationship and not lose yourself. It is a common aspect of many women. We're nurturers. We kind of give more of ourselves. But, men do it as well. We don't want to lose ourselves. We don't want to compromise our integrity. We don't want to do things that we ordinarily wouldn't do. And I think I gave the example when we were talking earlier about if you're watching your weight, you're eating healthfully, and your partner likes to eat out all the time, would you go out to eat and forget about your own, well-being? So you don't want to do that. So yes, the third tip, which is very important, and you need to pay attention to that, is to stay empowered in all of your relationships so that you don't lose who you are.
And not have the fear of, which to me is the mindset, changing the mindset so you're not thinking in lack, to say, oh my gosh, if I really do what I love, I might lose him or her. So they might leave. So here, I like gardening. If you don't, that's okay, but I spend 80% of my weekend in the garden, so I hope you like it and join me. I mean, I'm just being a little bit off the edge there, but I mean, it's just getting the point across that listen to your heart and be true to yourself, because I think it comes back to haunt you if you don't.
Mm-hmm. And if you have the fear of if I totally expose who I am, then I may lose that person, then you're sacrificing yourself and will be in a relationship with a person when you're never fully yourself. That's not going to work for very long, or you're going to be very unhappy. Or you're selling yourself out and just living part of your life the way you want it and the other part for that other person. And very often the partner will get bored and leave you because you are not a stimulating, exciting person if you're just living your life to be a compliment to them. So in the end, you have more self-respect and your partner respects you more when you are fully who you are. And that's from date number one. Don't pretend to be something different than who you are. I see so many people who don't reveal themselves at first and try to just meld into this mold of whoever they're dating. And it doesn't work. So be proud of who you are and let your partner express who they are and see if it's a good fit. And if it isn't, gracefully move on. But you don't want to be compromising on the things that are most important to you. There are many things you can compromise on, but not the essentials. Don't you think, Amy?
Oh, absolutely. We have to stay authentic. And that's the buzzword for the day. Be who you are. Know who you are. That's another thing that many people don't really know who they are. And I encourage people after their divorce, during their divorce, for women and men to find themselves. Certainly you don't want to date too soon after a divorce. You want to be alone, enjoy your own time, your quality time alone. Find out what your interests are. You may be very surprised to see that you want to go back to school, or you want to whatever it is. You have some interests, you have some things that you couldn't do when you were married, and now is your opportunity. So you really want to be yourself. Find out who that is, and I'm sure it's a wonderful person. Write down, people need to find what their passion is, what they love doing, and when you do that, and you go to seek out other people who share that passion, you're going to find somebody who you may be very compatible with. So first and foremost, who are you? What am I like?
Before we go any further, I wanted to ask you to let us know your website, how people can contact you, and tell us about your books and programs.
My website is Women Dating After 40, and you could contact me through that email, that website.
Is that 40?
Yes, I'm sorry, 40. WomenDatingAfter40.com. As I said initially, I am the co-author of 99 Things Women Wish They Knew Before Dating After 40, 50, and yes, 60. And this is a book to help women prepare before they go out to date, to avoid the traps and the pitfalls, the mistakes that they may have made, to learn what they need to do along the lines of what we're talking about, so that you prepare yourself for your dating, you know who you are, you empower yourself, you feel good about yourself, and you feel deserving. And I really think that's a very important keyword. Feel deserving of meeting somebody who really loves you for who you are. So the book is chock full of information, 99 tips on how you can do that. And by the way, it's for women of all ages, really, because anybody in their 30s, 20s, and 30s also could benefit from the information. I am also the co-author of Women Dating Rescue, which is a program for women also. It's an e-course, 10-week e-course that has all kinds of valuable information to help women get through the challenges that they may experience while dating, and also empowering them so that they feel good about themselves through the process. I also have a program for men, so I don't want men to feel that they're left out. It's Mastering the Challenges of Dating for Men, and it is also, it's written by two women for men to understand what it is we're looking for and what it is we want, and how they can understand a little more about how we work. So it's very good information, very valuable information for men to understand a little more about us women, so that you can meet the woman of your dreams. The program, that men's program, is on the website let me think.
Mensdatingformula.com.
Thank you, mensformula.com, and the women
datingformula.com.
That's it. Thank you. Mensdatingformula.com, and the womensdatingrescue.com is the other e-course.
But if they go to your main one, will that send them to all the others?
It will send them, yes.
Okay, and the main website again is?
Women Dating After 40. They'll get a lot of information.
.com. Great. So if we really want people to feel like they have these hot dating tips, it really boils down to basics, don't you think? You could get down to basics, to pay attention to the red flags, be who you are, be authentic, be deserving, love yourself. Anything else, guys? I'm just thinking this is what makes it hot.
Well, what makes it hot is the fact that they work. And unfortunately, I see a lot of clients, and I'm a therapist as well as a coach. I see a lot of clients who are in relationships, the same kind of relationship. Sometimes I see people for years, the same kind of relationship over and over and over again, and they just don't get it. So these tips that we talked about, these 3 essential tips, they're hot because they work. If you gain the insight that you need to know where you're at, what you need, what you want, what kind of challenges you may have, what kind of insecurities are you experiencing, where can you meet eligible men or women. If you come to dating with that background, with that confidence, you're going to succeed. Mm-hmm. Because it's the insecurity and it's the doubt and it's all those negative self-talk that we feed ourselves that's going to sabotage ourselves. And that's what we do time and again, sabotage ourselves and wind up in our comfort zone, which is repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And expecting a different outcome.
Yes, yes.
That's excellent. Well said.
Really important information. And tell us some of the red flags that you typically see that people ignore when they're starting new relationships and dating.
Lonely.
Well, yeah. We definitely do not want to appear desperate. because that sends an energy out there that you are vulnerable, and those abusers are going to find you and latch onto you, and you're going to be in trouble then. I used to run a domestic abuse program for 6 years. I'm very familiar with domestic abuse problems and issues. And while 80% of the abuse victims are women, men are also abused. It's actually creeping up more than 20%. So what are the red flags? If somebody comes on to you real quickly, if somebody wants to spend all day and all the time with you, they're jealous if you have outside influences or friends, family that you're in contact with. If they're abusive in terms of language towards you, certainly we know physical abuse, we don't want that, or even sexual abuse. But if they're very possessive.
Respectful.
Excuse me?
Disrespectful.
Yeah, disrespectful, bad-mouthing you. Again, you have to trust your intuition. It doesn't feel right. It scares you. Again, that fear factor is very important. If you're afraid of the person you're with and you walk on eggshells, that is definitely a red flag. Do not continue the relationship. Get out of it as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm. And if a person doesn't make you feel good, or like you said, doesn't have the respect, disrespectful, that's a big red flag.
It is.
For some reason we tend to say, oh, I was probably overreacting, or we go that way, which we really need to say, wait a minute, I don't settle for this. I'm better than this, and I'm not going to accept this. I'm not going to tolerate it. And that's where you can come.
Yeah, that's why you want to go into a relationship empowered, knowing that you deserve a person who loves you for who you are and is respectful of you. So you want to, you won't tolerate any of that kind of abuse. And if they, treat you that way, they're history.
Mm-hmm. I always say next.
That's right, next. I like to think of it as like the delete button on a computer. Just delete them from your life and move on.
And believe that there's someone better out there, of course. Yeah. What's your website again? I'm going to put this all together. I want people to know where to go to find you.
Okay, it's Women Dating After 40, that's 40.com. And they can also go to womendatingrescue.com and mensdatingformula.com.
Excellent, excellent. Amy, this has been a joy to have you on, and just to give us some really good info of the 3 best hot dating tips. They've been great. Roz?
I'm hoping that you'll have some wisdom to leave us with. What are the message that you want us to take away, and remembering that we're vulnerable after divorce, and what are some of the best takeaways you have for us?
The best advice I could give is to take care of yourself, number one, especially if you're newly divorced, or even if you're not newly divorced. Take care of yourself, and that means nurture yourself, get adequate exercise, and feed, eat food that's nutritious, but do things that you enjoy doing so that you feel like a special person. You are a special person. Nobody else is going to treat you as well as you are going to treat yourself. So you have to do that for yourself before you meet somebody else. When you meet your new partner, he's going to enhance your life. He's not going to complete it. You have to be a whole person when you go into that relationship right up from the beginning.
I love that.
That is to take care of yourself.
That's important.
I love the word of being unique. You are unique.
Yes.
And to believe it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, thank you. This has been a wonderful overview of so many important messages that we want people to take with them when they're embarking on starting over after divorce, and understanding that it begins on the inside first. Before you can create a better outside experience, you really have to do that inner work that Amy was talking about. So thank you, Amy Sherman, for being with us. And we're excited to be able to take advantage of your tips and put them into action.
And also, this will be on our website, divorceview.com, where you can go back and view it as many times as you like. Also, when you go to divorceview.com, Roz has some great information there to support you, as well as myself. So we thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.